This is a rotary food processor, sometimes called a salad maker. The original version of this food processor was marketed by Saladmaster in 1947. It was known as the Saladmaster machine and was the company's only product for the first several years in operation. As time went on, countless machines continued popping up and evolved over time. The machine I have is one of them. It's called a King Kutter, manufactured by Redco in the USA. I got it used on eBay. I can't tell how old it is because the same King Kutter is still in production today, so for all I know it could be from a couple years ago, although the condition of the rubber suction cup would suggest it's a couple decades older than that. There is a hopper, a base, and a suction cup which is controlled by a small lever on the base. The machine comes with 5 cone attachments that look like giant thimbles. They're numbered 1 through 5. The number 1 cone does a fine grate, number 2 makes thicker shreds, number 3 does sort of a julienne, number 4 makes thin slices, and number 5 is a crinkle cut slicer. I've found that it helps to put the tiniest bit of water on the counter before securing the machine because it allows the suction cup to get a good grip. I'll wipe the counter with a damp cloth, press the base down, and flip the suction lever. When I tug on the machine a little, I can feel the suction cup is attached to the counter, so I'm ready to go. The number 1 cone is perfect for grating cheese. This thing tears through a block of cheese in a hurry. One consistent problem, though, is that it's pretty much impossible to get the last ounce or so through the shredder without putting my hand in danger. The force of the shredding cone pulls everything over to the side here and tries to suck it through this gap between the cone and the sidewall. I think some of the other brands don't have this gap. The number 2 shredder is my favorite. It makes really easy homemade hash browns. I shred the potatoes straight into a bowl of water, then squeeze as much moisture as possible out of them with the tea towel right before cooking. This attachment would also work well for things like coleslaw or shredding frozen butter for biscuits. Again, I'm having trouble with the last bit of food. The machine comes with this detachable metal flap, which is theoretically supposed to help, but I can't find any way to make it useful. I just accept that the end of the foods won't be shredded with this machine, and I try to chop up the rest or use it for something else like soup stock. The number 3 cone is the one I use the least. The pieces are short and rounded, but if I want to make French fries, I guess this would be the tool I'd choose for the job since I don't have anything else. The number 4 makes very thin slices, which are perfect for homemade potato chips. The number 5 makes crinkle cut slices, which is also pretty cool, but half the time the pieces end up more shredded than crinkled. When they're done being used, the cones can be washed by hand or in the dishwasher. The hopper can't be immersed in water because it has ball bearings inside, but since it's only used for cheese and vegetables, I usually just wipe it down. The cones I use most often are the number 1 and the number 2 shredding cones, but the other cones would be great for someone who likes homemade potato or apple chips. This machine does a lot, but it does have some downsides. The fact that I can't get the last portion of food through safely is a little irritating, especially if I'm grating, say, a dozen potatoes and I end up with a dozen potato ends. And sometimes cheese blocks will crumble and make a mess, or the block will just break in half altogether. There's also a usability issue for left-handed people. I'm right-handed, so not a problem for me, but the directional design is somewhat unfriendly for lefties. The biggest annoyance for me is surprisingly not the risk of injury, but that the suction cup doesn't stay suctioned. This problem might be caused by the age of the suction cup on mine because it's beginning to dry rot, but I couldn't find a replacement for this particular type. The best I could do was find a replacement for the entire base of the machine. Overall, I have a love-hate relationship with this salad maker. It's mildly dangerous and moderately aggravating, but very useful and easy to clean. It can make a batch of potato chips or vegetable chips in seconds, and it shreds at lightning speed. It also takes up a pretty small footprint in the cabinet considering the number of options it offers, although it's a little awkward to store. Basically, I would only recommend this particular model for people with a lot of patience and a little bit of risk tolerance. If I had more kitchen space, I would consider getting an original Saladmaster with the 3 splayed out legs, because that would provide a sturdier base, and finding aftermarket suction cups would be easy because the type of suction cups they use are really common. Check out the rest of my vintage kitchen playlist here, and if you want to subscribe to my channel, I'd love to have you. Thank you for watching. Bye.